Planning a fishing trip shouldn't feel like a full-time job. With fishingbooker.com, you can find and book the perfect fishing trip within minutes. Fishingbooker.com connects you with trusted fishing captains around the world. Booking is fast, easy, and secure, with access to verified customer reviews, loyalty rewards, and around-the-clock customer support. Everything you need to book with confidence is in one place. So head to fishingbooker.com and start planning your next fishing adventure today.
They say you should learn something new every day. Like how you should only drink Jägermeister at 0 degrees Fahrenheit, ice cold. Like those frozen cavemen they find, which makes you wonder, what would a caveman think of Jägermeister? Well, if you served it warm, he'd probably throw it in your face, say, "Unga boonga," and storm off. And nobody wants that. So drink it cold or not at all. Jägermeister. Damn, that's cold. Drink responsibly. Jägermeister liqueur, 35% alcohol by volume, imported by Mast Jägermeister, U.S., White Plains, New York.
Last night, you spent 2 hours deciding what to wear to the party. This morning, it'll take you 2 minutes to list it on Depop and make your money back. Just grab your phone, snap a few photos, and we'll take care of the rest. The sheer dress and platform heels you'll never wear again? There's a birthday girl searching for them right now. Your one-and-done look is about to pay for your next night out. Or at least the ride home. Your style can make you cash. Start selling on Depop, where taste recognizes taste.
Chronic migraine is 15 or more headache days a month, each lasting 4 hours or more.
Botox, onabotulinum toxin A, prevents headaches in adults with chronic migraine before they start. It's not for those with 14 or fewer headache days a month. It prevents on average 8 to 9 headache days a month versus 6 to 7 for placebo.
Prescription Botox is injected by your doctor. Effects of Botox may spread hours to weeks after injection, causing serious symptoms. Alert your doctor right away, as difficulty swallowing, speaking, breathing, eye problems, or muscle weakness can be signs of a life-threatening condition. Patients with these conditions before injection are at highest risk. Side effects may include allergic reactions, neck and injection site pain, fatigue, and headache. Allergic reactions can include rash, welts, asthma symptoms, and dizziness. Don't receive Botox if there's a skin infection. Tell your doctor your medical history, muscle or nerve conditions, including ALS, Lou Gehrig's disease, myasthenia gravis, or Lambert-Eaton syndrome, and medications, including botulinum toxins, as these may increase the risk of serious side effects.
Why wait? Ask your doctor, visit BotoxChronicMigraine.com, or call 1-800-44-BOTOX to learn more.
All right, Greg. Welcome to the Hunting Stories podcast, brother. How are you, man?
I'm good. Thanks for having me.
Yeah, I'm excited to have you here, man. I've been talking with you guys for a little while now, and a big fan of your products, man. You guys do some cool stuff, and I've been meaning. I have a love-hate relationship with game cameras. So I'm getting ahead of myself. Let's take one step back. Greg, why don't you introduce yourself so the people know who they're talking to or hearing stories from today?
Yeah. My name's Greg Farrell. I'm the VP of Brand Marketing here at Tacticam. Tacticam, we really specialize in cellular cameras. So Tacticam actually started almost 10 years ago now with the point of view camera, right? The one you could mount on your bow or your rifle or your shotgun. Yeah. Obviously, everybody kind of originally knew us for that. Like most origin stories, right? Our founders saw an opportunity in the market. They were like, hey, we've developed this really small camera that takes great photo and video. We're not stoked on like what we've seen from cellular trail cameras. Can we take this thing and, new form factor, like figure that out, right?
Yeah.
So that was kind of like the origin story of Reveal. Reveal obviously blew up, very quickly became like a market share leader in the cellular trail camera space. I had nothing to do with any of that. That was long before my time here.
All right.
I started here about 2.5 years ago. Spent about a decade previous to that at First Light and Meat Eater, so I've been in the outdoor hunt space for quite a while. But yeah, I had the pleasure of jumping on the rocket ship here a couple of years ago, and have really enjoyed it. It's a really special place. We got a lot of really cool things going on, great people, great founders. It's kind of just like, seems like we've found the secret sauce here that a lot of organizations are looking for, so proud to be a part of it.
Yeah, nerd alert, I hang out on LinkedIn a lot, and you guys post a lot on there about what a great place it is for people to be employed, which is, I think, really important. And you guys make awesome products. I used to have one of your, the stabilizer cams, when you guys started and all that. And like I said, I have a love-hate relationship with game cameras because, well, I'm in Colorado, so if I'm putting them out, I got to put them 3-4 miles out. And then it was when you guys started to put cellular stuff, I was like, this is brilliant. But what I hate is that there's animals on it 24/7 until the season starts, and then those animals disappear. And I don't know, it must be something to do with me. It's not anything to do with the cameras themselves, man, but I just get so excited whenever I put out cameras. And it is never quite the animal volume when I'm actually out there hunting. So I don't know if you guys are just like using AI to put animals in my photos or what, but I do love a good game camera picture.
It's funny you bring that up, and we don't need to go down this rabbit hole, right? But I feel like one of the things I get asked the most about in this like industry I work in is like, how far is too far, right? Like, when does technology get too far in this whole like hunting space, right? And like, are cellular cameras cheating? And I was like, if I could explain to you the number of photos I have of animals that I will never see, that I have never killed, right? It's like, I wish it was that easy. Like, they're a great tool, and that's it, right? It's a tool in the toolkit. But it definitely does not guarantee success by any way, shape, or form, as you've mentioned very clearly on your...
I one time on a game camera got a picture of an antelope at 11,000 feet, like up a mountain. And I was like, what is that guy doing here? Like, how exciting is that? And yeah, no luck. But that's my own problems. So, but cool, man. Well, I'm glad to hear that you guys are doing so well, because I've been following the company, like I said, since you had those first little cameras before you went into the cell cam industry. So I think it's cool. It's been fun to watch. I want to say, like, I've been hunting almost exactly as long as you guys have been around. You said about 10 years?
Yep.
Yeah. I think I've been hunting for 11 years. So I remember when you guys first launched. So that's pretty cool. But we're here to hear some of your hunting stories, Greg. So let's do it, man. Why don't you set the stage for some of the first story?
Cool. All right. I'll let you choose. I've got a whitetail story. I've got a mountain lion story, and I've got a nasty pack out story.
Oh my god, those are.
Any one of those suit your fancy to start?
Yeah, well, man, I like all of those categories. We're gonna go whitetail first because you got two beautiful ones right behind you. Yeah. But God, I don't think I've ever heard a mountain lion story or a pack out story I didn't love. So we'll save those for the back.
Perfect. Yeah, so the whitetail story, and this is one of those, like, in the moment, those, like, gut-wrenching things that happen to you in the field where you're like, I'm never going to recover from this. I've made the biggest mistake of my life.
Yeah.
Like a complete amateur, right? Like, this is one of those. So I was lucky enough to draw a Kansas whitetail tag. It would have been 3 years ago now. It was my first time hunting Kansas. Hunted a bunch of other places. Like, Kansas was always like, it's like Iowa and Kansas, the place you got to go to hunt whitetails, right? And I put in with 0 points and a pretty good unit, had about 50% draw odds. Ended up drawing Kansas, was fired up, spent all this time scouting, got a few permission polices. I knew some guys down there that ran like an outfit / hunt club, right? So they knew a lot of people that had ground, and was able to actually secure a lease piece in kind of like South Central Kansas, really good spot. Put cameras out. We did the whole scouting thing, and there was this one deer, right? Like, there's always that one, right, that shows up that you're like, okay, that's the buck we're going after. And
I'm not a good enough hunter to wait for any animal. I just shoot the first thing that shows up, but that's just my skill level mostly. But continue.
No, so, leading up to the season, like, we had cameras out. We were watching, a lot of great deer, but there was this one that just like, kind of kept sticking out. And there was not, so most of Kansas where we are anyways, it's like big open sections, right? It's cattle country. There's small veins of timber, small timber blocks, etc. But it's truly cattle country. Okay. And there were not cows on this section that we had permission on, all through the summer leading up to the fall, so on and so forth. Of course, the day we show up to start hunting, there's cows on the place, right? And typically, especially in this portion of the country, right, like, not that they don't interact or it's a big deal, but like, if there's cows right by you, the deer are not going to come close enough from an archery perspective to be able to shoot one, right? Yeah. So the first few days, it was like, it seemed like no matter where we went on this piece, it was like, we'd walk in, we'd get set up, no cows, half an hour in the sit, hour in the sit, like, cows come in, right? And a couple times we actually had deer around us when the cows would move in, they'd move off. And it was just this constant, like, rinse and repeat is like, no matter where and it's 600 acres, right? So it's like we were bopping around, but they just seemed to follow us. It kind of became this running joke. Well, I think it was like our third or fourth day of this whole, like, get up early, hunt the morning, eat lunch, go back out. I mean, it's pretty much all day sits type of thing. It was a morning hunt, rinse and repeat. We get set up, cows come in. At this point, like, I'm just sick of it, right? So I actually had a camera guy with me. And the great thing about, well, good or bad thing about this is it's all on film. I'm like, screw this. Like, I'm not going to sit here the rest of the afternoon, you know, with these cows around us and not see anything. So I get down. I'm like, I'm just going to run them off. We'll disturb everything for a half an hour, right? And then hopefully, like, the rest of the sit's good. So no joke, I get down. I maybe take 20 steps, kind of push these cows off. And I turn around. And 35 feet behind the tree I was just in is that deer that we were there.
Oh, no.
Just staring at me. And you want to talk about feeling like sticking out like a sore thumb, right? It's like I'm standing in the woods. My camera guy's up in this tree. He sees me kind of freeze, right? And like, look, so he turns around. He sees this deer. This deer is just, you know, laser beams looking through me. And proceeds to just turn around and like walk right out of our lives, right? And it was like, you have all this time and effort and bandwidth put into like trying to kill this one deer, and this stupid mistake. In my mind, I thought it was smart, like get the cows out of there, right? And of course, like there he is. And it was this like sinking feeling of like, well, I just wasted this hunt. I wasted this whole trip. Like we came here to do one thing, you know, whatever. So try and speed up the story a little bit here. We moped and we, you know, were sad and pissed off and angry for a while. We ended up moving to a different piece. I killed another, like a different deer, great deer, whatever. But that deer, just like, it was one of those deer that it just doesn't leave your brain, right? And like the fact that it was 100% my fault, like nobody else did anything wrong. Like the deer did everything right. Like I screwed it up. Like I just couldn't get over it. So fast forward to like 6 months after that, 8 months after that, it's time to put in for Kansas again for the next year. So I'm like, all right, I'm putting back in. We're going back there. Like we knew that deer didn't get killed because of the connections we had to the through the people that we got the ground for. Like he made it through archery season, made it through rifle season. One of the neighbors actually saw him, I think, in like January of that year. So we thought he was probably still alive. And very unlikely, right? But it's like, all right, well, if I can draw Kansas again, we can get access to this piece. Like, let's go back there. Like, who knows, right?
Yeah.
So fast forward a little bit, right? Put in, draw Kansas again, get permission on the same piece, go back about the same time of year. We show up, and I was like, had the same camera guy with me. I'm like, you know what? Like, wind's not great. For most of this farm the next day, there's like one stand towards the front. It actually happened to be this tree we were in when I pushed those cows away and scared that deer away. I was like, let's just go sit there. It's low impact. Like it'll be a great first morning sit. And we go in there, we set up, get set up in the dark. It gets light out maybe 20 minutes after it gets light out, right? Hear a bunch of commotion. It was early November, so it's definitely the rut. Buck grunting, you hear a doe running through the woods. This doe comes running through the woods probably 15 yards in front of us, and I look behind her, and I kid you not, it is that exact same deer from the year before following her, right? And he follows her to a T, and like he has to cross this river that she crossed. It's a little ditch river, whatever, and he's going to be at 15 yards. So he ends up actually not crossing the river, but skirting around it. So he's at like 65, 70 through some thick stuff, like no shot. And I'm like, here we go again, right? It's like I had him.
Yeah.
He was just evading me. So at this point, I'm desperate. And I was like, you know what? Like, he's on a doe. Like, there's probably very few things I can do that are going to pull him off this doe unless she's not actually hot, right? And he's just out seeking. So I grabbed the antlers, smashed them together, and it wasn't, I don't know, maybe 15, 30 seconds after that, he does this big J hook, right, and comes right in front of us, 12 yards, shoot him on camera, pinwheel him. But it was like this whole culmination of, for me, getting out of a tree stand to like scare these cows away to a full year later, almost to the day, shooting that same deer out of that
That's
same
awesome.
Like, it's just one of those, you couldn't write it better than that, right?
Yeah. That's cool. Okay. You named this deer, right? Everyone names whitetails.
Yeah.
What did you name him?
This deer is called Tootsie Roll. So that's actually it. The reason he's called Tootsie Roll is that first year when we first started getting pictures of him, he was by far the biggest deer on camera, and he actually had like rolls on his neck.
A hefty boy. Okay.
So we nicknamed him Tootsie Roll.
That's a great name. Normally it's something totally different, like Megatron or whatever. That's a great name for a deer. But yeah, no, everybody has that story, man, where they made a mistake and they're like, "Why did I do what I just did?" And hopefully you learn from those mistakes. My example, my very first year hunting in Colorado, third rifle, hiked up a mountain. Didn't realize there were roads everywhere. Could have basically driven to where I was, but whatever. We hiked multiple miles to get to where we were. Exhausted, we see a big rock. Let's pull over. Let's have lunch. And mind you, this year it didn't get above like 25 degrees. Like that was the warmest it got. And so I set my rifle down on this big rock and I'm kind of walking around it to try and figure out like, okay, where should I sit on this rock? And I, of course, find my spot on the opposite side where I set my rifle, right? And so you know where this is going. So I sit down, get out my bagel sandwich, which is frozen solid and like just aching my jaw to rip chunks off. And I look to my right and there's a herd of elk. And I'm like, oh my God. And so like, I'm like looking for my rifle and I realize it's on the opposite side of this rock. And I'm not behind the rock and it's not in front. It's like side to side. Yeah. So I just crawl on the backside, get over to my rifle, pull my rifle up. And I have an over-the-counter bull tag. And there's 4 bulls that I could see through they kind of were roaming through. 4 bulls added like just no shot, just way up at the front of the pack. And I'm like, well, I've heard maybe bulls sometimes come in the back of the pack. So I sit there and I just have 30 cows, spikes, just staring at me. And I'm maybe 70 yards, like with my rifle. I'm like, easy chip shot if a bull would just come by. But I learned my lesson. I did something so stupid, and we all, as hunters, we all do stupid things. And that's when the best opportunities always happen. So we all have those stories.
It's like, if I would have just sat in that tree all day, those cows wouldn't have moved, and I wouldn't have seen anything, I would have been mad at myself, right? But it's like, and then you do it, and you're like, okay, I just broke the cardinal rule of the thing that I claimed to be somewhat good at, right? And like, now I'm paying the price.
Yep. I'll say I've never let my weapon leave my side. Like I'm going to eventually shoot one with my pants down. Like I'll be, going number 1 or 2 here, and something will show up, but I'm going to have my weapon with me when that time happens. So
totally.
But that's a great story, man. So did you score out your deer?
I did. Yeah. He was 178 1/8.
That's a good deer, man. That's a good deer.
I think, and neither here nor there, right? And it's hard to tell. I mean, we have some video and pictures of him. I think he was one of those deer that was actually quite a bit bigger the year before.
Oh, really?
And he was super identifiable because he's one of those just like really dark chocolate horned. I mean, his horns almost look black. So it's like you knew the deer. It was hard to miss him, right?
Yeah.
But either way, it's like to put that ending on that book, right, with like how it had led up to that. It's like I wouldn't care if that deer scored 115 that year, right? It was like to just actually put the bookmark in. It was pretty great.
Yeah, but just redemption, your redemption arc.
Yeah.
So
exactly.
That's awesome. That's a great story. Well, let's keep going. What do you want to do next? You want to tell me about a pack out, or you want to tell me about a mountain? Let's do mountain lion.
Let's do the mountain lion story.
Yeah.
So this was a little bit of backstory about me. I grew up in Wisconsin, cut my teeth on whitetails and turkeys. Like whitetails are my thing. Mm-hmm. As I got into like my college age years, I think as with most people from the Midwest, like you start learning about, reading about, getting interested in like the Western pursuits because you didn't have access to it, right? As a younger kid. That was definitely me. It was like, okay, elk and mule deer, I started getting bit with that bug. And it was, I can't remember, I think it was my second trip. So at the time, I was actually teaching, right out of college, I started teaching high school science. And so the only way teachers don't get a lot of days off. And the school year starts, right? Like typically like late August, early September. So the only way that I could get like a true Western hunt in, it was actually in Utah at the time. They probably still have it. They had like an earlier season. It was a cow archery hunt that you could get a non-resident tag for. It was open in August, so it gave me like my time to get out there, get a Western hunt in before the school year started. And I think it was our second trip out there. The first trip we went out there is complete like Western newbie. It's like had no idea what we were doing, messed up a bunch of stuff, had a great time, whatever. Next year we go back out there. It's like, okay, we got this all figured out. And it was towards the end of the trip, like the second to last day, I think it was. And we had just moved areas. And we were walking in. We had actually we went to a different area that we were going to go into. There's a bunch of guys in the parking lot. So went to a different spot, got there a little bit later than we would have liked, and started hiking in. And it was actually already light out, right? Because of the whole like faux pas back and forth between the spots. And it was one of those situations, like we were hiking up and we were kind of going through this like, you know, elevated prairie area on our way up to get to this glassing point that we wanted to get to. And I was with, it was myself and one of my buddies, and he was in front of me at the time. And I had this feeling kind of like all morning, like that feeling of like being watched or like something around you. And I was like, whatever, you know, I just kept ignoring it. And then he stopped and he turned around. He literally said the same thing to me. He's like, I just have the weirdest feeling. And I was like, that's weird. So do I. So unbeknownst to me at the time, like he turned around, he said that, and I see his eyes get big, like as he's saying that.
Oh shit.
So I turn around and like, kid you not, right? There's a mountain lion 35 yards behind us. Like,
no shit.
Yeah. And I don't know how long it was following us. I don't know if it was following us, right? Like, but at the time, especially coming from the Midwest, right? Like, I'd never seen a mountain lion in the world, you know, in the wild before, much less like have this weird feeling and then see one that close to you. So my buddy gets out his camera, right? And he's like taking pictures. I was like, put your camera away. Like, you know, get your bow, right? We don't have a firearm or anything. Like, I didn't know if this thing was stalking us or if it just wanted to see what we were. So anyways, like mountain lion kind of like walks away, but it was the eeriest thing again, like being a Midwesterner, right? Like that mountain lion walked away and you could see the grass moving. You could see like brush moving, but there was just not a sound, right? That's
crazy.
I should be able to hear something because I can see these things moving. It was just silent. And we just kind of stood there and like what just happened, like talked about it. It was this like very crazy experience. We were like, all right, whatever, like second to last day, like we got to keep hunting. And all day, right, we're hunting. We're kind of moving around spot to spot, glassing, and I keep just like having that feeling. And I'm like brushing it off. I was like, no, it's just like you're freaked out because you saw the mountain lion this morning, you know, whatever. And my buddy kind of said he felt it too. Like we never saw it again. We just had that feeling the whole day. Again, just like trying to ignore it. So anyways, you know, it gets dark out. Got to head back to the truck. We didn't bring anything in with us that day because it was a new spot. We weren't sure if we were going to stay there. So we started hiking back out. And we're hiking back out actually a different way than we hiked in because just where we had ended up that day. And we got our headlamps on. Again, he was in front of me. You know, we were kind of hiking out. And same thing, like that feeling is just super strong. At one point, probably halfway out, my buddy's name was Lance. I was like, Lance, stop for a second. I was like, I just feel super weird again. He's like, yeah, me too. And I turn around, and in my headlamp, the mountain lion, again, probably 25 yards away from us, right? And the So now we're having this conversation of like, has this thing actually been following us all day, right?
Yeah. Did you feel that all day? Because I felt it all day.
Totally. And it was just like, I know for a lot of guys, like Western guys and guys that spend a lot of time in the West, like it's not that abnormal, but I think it was just like that first experience and the fact that like we had the feeling, saw the thing in the morning. Who knows? It could have been a different cat at night.
Yeah.
Like I have no idea, but it was just like, there's too much coincidence of this, like, is this thing following us? Is this thing not following us? Seeing it twice. It was like behind us both times. But then we still had like a couple miles to get back to the truck. And it's like, do you just turn your back on this thing and like keep walking?
Yeah, just like, let it go into the darkness.
It was one of those things that just like to this day like sticks with me. And obviously like nothing happened, you know, whatever. But it was just a wild, wild experience to both feel that and then see it so close to us both times. I still have the picture on my phone. It's like this grainy picture that my buddy took. Like you can see my shoulder in the picture, and then like this cat is behind us, like in this grass, like 25 yards behind us.
Dude. You say it's like, oh, Western hunters are just used to that kind of stuff. No, we're not. Like, that's a unique experience. So I've been hunting for a decade, a little bit over a decade, and, like, I've never seen a mountain lion. I would love to. I think it'd be cool, and I definitely want to at some point go with some dogs and go actually hunt mountain lion. But, like, seeing... Hey, hunters. Have you ever had one of those stories, you know, the ones that you didn't want to tell, the ones that end in failure? Yeah, I've been there. Actually, you know what? The culprit for me usually is bad optics, or worse, lack of using my optics at all. Picture this. I spot a trophy buck, or an antelope, or an elk, whatever it may be. My heart is racing, but the blurry view, or I just can't quite identify exactly what I'm looking at, it has me second guessing. Well, that's where Vortex Optics comes in. With crystal clear glass and rugged durability, Vortex gives you the confidence to take the shot. Don't let poor optics ruin your story. Make every moment count. Upgrade to Vortex and turn your hunting tales into triumphs. Visit vortexoptics.com today.
Tomorrow morning is knocking. Stock your fridge now. How about a creamy mocha frappuccino drink? Or a sweet vanilla? Smooth caramel, maybe? Or a white chocolate mocha? Whichever you choose, delicious coffee awaits. Find Starbucks Frappuccino drinks wherever you buy your groceries.
Now at McDonald's, a McDouble is $2.50, so you can get your gym gains on. Or just get lunch for only $2.50. Get more value on the under $3 menu.
Limited time only. Prices and participation may vary. Prices may be higher for delivery.
Ba-da-ba-ba-ba.
Hey hunters, have you ever had one of those stories, the ones that you didn't want to tell, the ones that end in failure? Yeah, I've been there. Actually, you know what? The culprit for me usually is bad optics, or worse, lack of using my optics at all. Picture this. I spot a trophy buck, or an antelope, or an elk, whatever it may be. My heart is racing, but the blurry view, or I just can't quite identify exactly what I'm looking at, it has me second guessing. Well, that's where Vortex Optics comes in. With crystal clear glass and rugged durability, Vortex gives you the confidence to take the shot. Don't let poor optics ruin your story. Make every moment count. Upgrade to Vortex and turn your hunting tales into triumphs. Visit vortexoptics.com today. Most hunters, they've hunted for multiple decades. I've seen a handful, one or two here or there, but 2 in a day. And if you're not actively hunting them with dogs or something, that's really unusual. And having that feeling of being watched, that's a real thing. I wonder what that's called. I wonder if someone studied it, because I've had that once in the woods, but I never tagged it to a critter that was looking at me. But yeah, that's spooky, man. I don't. That's crazy.
It's got to be some type of hardwired biology in us, right?
Yeah,
because
it's got to be.
I'm not a big woo-woo intuition type guy, right? But it was a feeling I've never had before, and then to have it, almost verified by seeing the thing, it was just, yeah, it was crazy. Needless to say, we slept in the truck that night because both of us were we're gonna crawl in the back of the pickup truck and we'll leave the tents away for tonight. We're just gonna sleep in the hard-sided thing.
Oh, that's too funny, man. But I would too. That's exactly what I would have done. Oh, man.
I was I don't need to be getting chewed on my last day out here.
Dude.
Yeah.
Yeah, I would love to see a mountain lion, but 2 in a day, I would just count myself lucky that I then get out of there as quick as I can.
Yeah.
So
it was wild.
That's crazy.
I mean, that was cool. It's that total type 2 fun, right? Where in the moment it's this is not fun, but
yeah.
Years later, it's that was pretty cool. I'm glad we can talk about that.
Yeah. That's all hunting is. That's what half of these hunting stories that I hear on this show are type 2 fun, right? Just we're surrounded by wolves at the moment, terrifying. Now it's the favorite story to tell, and my kids will tell that story and stuff like that. So that's pretty cool. All right, man. Well, let's keep going, Greg. You're knocking them out of the park so far.
All right. Well, ironically, this next one, this pack out story, is with the same buddy, my buddy Lance, who I talked about the mountain lion story. So, my first job in the outdoor industry was I started working for First Light, who's out of Idaho, Sun Valley, Ketchum, Idaho area. And for me, it was this dream job, right? First Light was really small at the time. They had not, I think I was employee number 6 or 7.
Pre-meat eater.
Yeah. Way probably 6 years pre-meat eater.
Okay.
And it was one of those roles where they posted it, and I felt I was underqualified, over ambitious type of thing, but ended up getting this job, moving out to Idaho, right? And it's now the dream is coming true. It's Midwest kid, has always loved hunting, falls in love with Western hunting, gets to work for this clothing company in the hunting space that's already out west in this super cool little town in Idaho with a bunch of access, and it was all these things, right? And my buddies are stoked because now they have a place to come and, local to help out, another place for them to hunt, so on and so forth. So my buddy Lance, who I had mentioned in this previous story, was and is also, he still is a teacher to this day. So we're still on this whole kick of how can we get hunts in previous to the school year starting? I obviously wasn't teaching anymore, but he was. So
and was he still back home, or did he move out to Idaho too?
Yeah, he's in Wisconsin. So I moved out to Idaho. He's still in Wisconsin. I find this kind of like niche tag out there. It's a very similar thing. It's like a depredation tag. So it's in this unit that's like close to town, but not in town. And it's an August rifle season. So I was like, this is perfect. Like, you come out, I'll take a couple days off work. Like, I'll just hunt with you. Like, I'm not going to hunt, but I'll help you find something. You know, if you kill something, I'll help you pack it out. We'll get to spend some time together, whatever. So he comes out. I spend the first couple days with him in this zone. And at that point, like, it's still hot, right? Like, you're talking 80, 90 degree days. So, you know, realistically, you're trying to catch elk, you know, going from either the dark timber where they're bedding, right, to water, or vice versa, or catch them like, you know, it's first light, last light type of thing, like bedding, feeding, like, so really it's like, you just got to find the herd, right? Like, it's a rifle hunt. You don't have to get super close, but it's finding them is kind of the deal. And once you find them, it's kind of should be a done deal. So anyways, first couple of days, we didn't find any elk. I had to go back to work for a day, but my buddy was going to stay out there. And I was, you know, we were looking at the maps together. Like, basically, I had to hike out that morning. I was going to go back to the office for a day. We were looking at the maps before I hiked out. And I was like, all right, here's the deal. I was like, you know, this is kind of the zone. This ridge is this boundary. I was just like getting the lay of the land. And I was like, whatever you do, like, you can kill one anywhere you want. Just do not kill one in this back corner. Because I had been back there for mule deer previously. And it's one of those, like, true, like, it's just a hellhole, right? And I was like, it is not worth it. You have a full week to do this. Like, I guarantee we will find you a cow, like, in a great spot to get it out. I was like, just don't kill one back there because it's going to be absolutely terrible. Like, yeah, of course, for sure. Like, won't do it, you know? So
I'm already angry at Lance. I don't know where the story's going, but I have a feeling I'm already angry at him. All right, keep going.
Reach. I was like, you know, here's the inReach. I'm going to hike out, go to work. Like, if you shoot something, you know, shoot me a message. Like, I'll bring the cavalry and we'll come help you pack it out. So I hike out, drive into town, go right to the office. You know, I'm working, whatever. I think it was like 3, 4 o'clock. And of course, get a text, you know, on the inReach from Lance. He's like, cow down. I'm like, okay, sweet. You know, like, you got one. This is great. So I text him back. I was like, send me a pin. So he drops me a pin. And as you mentioned, where did Lance kill this cow, right? In this absolute hellhole of a place.
He like sends you that. You're like, don't put one here. You put a pin where not to put it. He just sends that pin back to you.
100%. I think that's what we joke about today. I was like, if I could have put the pin, like, actually where to not go, like, that's where you drop the pin of where you killed it type of thing. So to get over my, like, little frustration at first, I was like, all right, I'm going to be smart about this instead of, you know, pissed off about this. So the two founders and owners of First Light at the time, they had e-bikes, and e-bikes are kind of a new thing, especially like the hunting e-bikes at the point. So I'm like, this is great. I'm going to grab one of those e-bikes. It'll take me half the time to get in there, at least as far as I can get, right? And that way, like, getting it out, one guy can walk, one guy can do multiple trips. And, like, even though he killed it back here, like, we only have to get it a certain amount of the way out, and then we can use the bike to get the rest of the way out, like, no big deal. And in my fury of, like, being pissed off and excited for him, you know, I'm like, got to get out there to help him, like, grab the bike, throw it in the truck. Like, owner's like, yeah, cool, take it, whatever. Of course, didn't even think to see if this thing was, like, charged, right, or had full battery.
Oh, no.
So it ripped it in, and it was like, it would have been better if the thing was like fully dead, right? But it had like just enough battery where I got like 2 miles in and then it died. So now not only do we have to get this, you know, couple 100 pounds of elk meat out, we also have this e-bike that weighs whatever 100+ pounds. Like, these things aren't light, right? That we have to get out of there because it's dead.
Let me ask, because I don't know anything about e-bikes, but like, when they're dead, do the wheels turn, or does it fight you a little bit?
Yeah, they turn, but it's like, they're so heavy, like the frame of them is so heavy, and this one, like, you know, has those big, like, fat tires. Yeah. And of course, you know, it's like uphill on the way out, so it's like you're not pedaling the thing out of there, right? So it's full on shit out.
Yeah.
So, long story short, right? Like, I get back there, we load this thing up, and I was like, all right, we got 2 options. Like, it's just the 2 of us. I was like, we can pack everything out in one trip, and it's gonna suck, or we're gonna have to, like, you know, do lighter loads multiple trips. He's like, all right, like, let's just get it out of here, you know? So we both packed up this entire cow, and hike it out, and like we're doing okay. It's pretty rough. I mean, he was 7 miles back, right? Like back in a terrible spot for a cow elk. Like it's not something that should have happened.
That's brutal.
Totally. But, you know, and I don't know what time we started packing it out, 7, 8 o'clock, right? So you can imagine what time we actually got back to this bike, which then we still had to get out another couple miles. And the culmination of the story is like the greatest thing ever. So we get all this stuff out, right? Get the elk out, we get the bike out, we drive home, and we get back to the place that I'm, you know, staying at the time. I just moved out there. And, you know, it's one of those situations where, like, you're so hungry, you think you can just, like, eat anything in the world, and you will, right? So it's like we go through my fridge, we make a bunch of food, and I'll never forget this. We're, like, sitting at my counter. I don't know what time, ungodly time in the morning it is at this point, right? And we're, like, chit-chatting and, like, reminiscing on this whole story. And we're eating and, you know, we each have a beer or whatever. And all of a sudden, like, he just stops responding. And I, like, look over at him, and he had fallen asleep sitting at the counter because he was so tired from this whole endeavor we just went through. But it was just, like, it was one of those classic, like, comedy of errors. It's like, don't do this. But then if you do this, we'll do this to solve it. But then that fell through, right? It was just like thing after another after another. And I was like, I don't think I like elk hunting anymore. Like, this is
until you've had enough time to, like, emotionally heal, and then the story becomes really fun, and you're like, let's go do it again. Yeah, that's awesome. That's how I feel about, like, I had a really bad, maybe 2 seasons ago, just every other day we're getting stuck in the snow and, like, wasted hours just being miserable. Hated it, and it took me like 3 months to, like, be able to laugh about it. And now I'm like, it's a pretty funny damn story. And I was, like, backing down a cliff with, like, other people bearing down with a trailer, and there's a cliff into a lake, and I'm like, it's awful. But that's a great story. Let me ask you this. Was that the best beer you can ever remember having?
It would. I mean, they always are, right? It's like, you will never have a better beer than, like, a post-pack out beer. There's just something about it that hits different that, I don't know.
Yep. And it's got to be a light lager. You can't give me that, like, double IPA when I'm done with a pack out. I need, like, a Coors Original or Coors Light or whatever, and it's just so good. I don't know what's so good about it, but there's nothing better than a light beer after a struggle.
I think it's just the earning, right? Like, we joked today that, like, we've never earned a beer more than we've earned that one, but also learned a lot of lessons. It's like, you know, these are some things you don't do because it's not worth it, right?
Yep. Charge the e-bike, man. Charge the e-bike. I bet that was so frustrating when you were like, you just made one of the hardest things you'll ever do just a little bit harder.
Well, and I thought I had the cheat code, right? It was like, I went from being frustrated about this, like, I have a solution to this, right? And it's like, I got it all figured out. And then it's like the letdown was even greater when that whole plan got soured because of the dead battery.
That's awesome, man. That's awesome. Yeah. Well, Greg, you got any other ones that popped into your brain, or are you going to leave us with those? I know that's what you came with today, so you tell me.
I'll leave you with those. Yeah.
Okay, man. Well, they were good ones. I enjoyed all of them. What do you want to share about Tacticam? I want to give you some time to talk about what's new. What's the new hotness right now in the the game camera industry?
Yeah, I mean, gosh, it's a loaded question. It's the cool thing about this, like, Tacticam in general, maybe I'll start there, right, is, like, if you've been following us for a while or haven't, right, like, I kind of talked about how we went from, like, the point of view camera to the cellular camera, right, and then really, like, the origin story of every product we develop here has to do with 2 things. It's like, one, most of the people that work for this place are hunters, our founders are hunters, right, so it's like something we want or need to use, or 2, it's a problem we hear, right, from customers of, like, there's something that they don't have or there's something they want, right? So, like the Defend, for example, we have a cellular security camera line that came from us learning that people were using Reveal cameras for security purposes in places where it's like, hey, I don't have Wi-Fi, I can't get power to it, but I need to still be able to have some security or eyes on, whether it's like a remote hunting property, a remote cabin, maybe it's like your pole barn on your property, right? That's couple 100 yards away from your house. So we heard that and it's like, well, okay, we can actually develop a better product for that specific use case using the engineering team we have, the inline technology we've built, X, Y, and Z, right? And again, like, just in the last month now, we released a new app called Habitat IQ, kind of the same thing, right? It's an app that's based off of habitat management and hunting, because it was something we didn't have, right? It was something that like all of us, as most of us are whitetail nuts. We're in Billings, Montana now. That's where our headquarters are. So like we obviously love Western hunting as well.
Yeah.
But from the whitetail perspective specifically, it was like we were using all these different apps, whether it was, a mapping app, your trail camera app, and then you get into the whole land management thing or understanding property. And then it's like, that's a whole wormhole on the internet, right? Like you really want to stir up some controversy, like go on YouTube and type in the question of like, where should I put a water hole? Or like, switchgrass, CRP. It's like, you can find a million different answers to the same question. So it's like, how do we consolidate all this information into one place where people have this source of truth as it pertains to information, as it pertains to like a checklist of things to do, as it pertains to outcomes to that, right? And then frankly, as it pertains to like how you hunt. So, and I'm giving a very brief overview of the product itself, but what I'm trying to get at here is it's like, what's so cool about this place is like there's this constant evolution of both product on the hardware side as well as on the software side, right? And it really just comes from this need of what we want or what our customers want. But to me, what's so cool about it is like this hybrid component of our business. Like all of our products, there is a physical hard good product, but there's also this software component to it too, right? Like you have the camera and you have the app. And I think that's what makes like our space in this industry so different is from a technology perspective, like software evolves so much faster than hardware does, right? And I'm going to oversimplify this for sure, but it's like, if you think about hardware, right, it's like there's various physical hardware components. So there's a circuit board, there's memory cards, there's the camera, there's, XYZ. You're always limited to your advancements in hardware based off the evolution of the individual components, right?
Yeah.
Now, that's not to say that we don't evolve. Like we're releasing a new camera this year that's going to literally change the paradigm for a couple of things that people care most about for cameras. I won't say more than that because I don't want to get myself fired. Right?
All right.
All that to be said, like stay tuned because literally, like I know this gets overused, especially in our industry, but like this is unlike anything that has come out before in terms of some of those things that people care most about with cameras. Okay. So I'll say that on the hardware side, but on the software side, right? Like those jumps and evolutions of that technology, like they're happening every minute, every hour, every day, right? So for me, what's so exciting about us and where we put a lot of our emphasis is like our entire engineering team is internal. We have a hardware engineering team, we have a software engineering team. Like these aren't small teams. So we have this whole dedicated team, especially on the software side, where we own our own development and we can iterate on that so fast, right? And as you can imagine, like this world we live in with AI and being able to build algorithms and data, right? Like there's almost no limit to what we can do or are going to be able to do in the future. And I think that's what gets so exciting, right? Like if you think about an average trail camera picture, it's like, okay, that picture has a lot of data attached to it. It has a time of year. It tells you if it's, during the daylight or nighttime, temperature, barometric pressure. A lot of times like they'll have like wind direction tied to it, moon phase, right? So it's like, if you think about one trail camera photo, and let's just, for easy math here, right? Like let's say there's 15 pieces of data attached to that, okay? On an average day for us in November, Reveal cameras will take about 100 million photos a day.
Whoo!
All the Reveal cameras, right, out in the world.
Yeah.
Between 70 and 100 million photos a day is that's not abnormal for us in the month of November. So you think about like 100 million photos, each with 15 pieces of data attached to them, and the pool of data that you have to then start to evolve in terms of things like using AI, building algorithms, right? Like what you can get out of that, like that to me is like what's so exciting about our capabilities here, and like owning that internal engineering, owning that internal development, and having that come from a place of people who are actually end users. Like hardware will always continue to improve, but I think what our space and our industry is going to see in terms of the product you're going to get from a software perspective and some of the tools that come along with that, like to me, that's just so exciting because it's like
that's pretty cool,
right?
I never thought about just the sheer volume of animal data that you guys have. Like that's pretty crazy to think about. Yeah. Think about that. 15 million data points a day just being added in and analyzed. That's pretty cool.
Yeah. Yeah, so lots of exciting stuff coming down the pipe. I mean, stay tuned for, new hardware all the time, but the software and app stuff is always, it's pretty exciting.
Cool, Greg. Well, man, that was a lot. Like, I haven't put that much thought into game cameras. I'm just like, ooh, animals, fun. Yep. Like, I like what you guys are doing, and that's why I am not in the game camera industry, and that's why you are. So thank you for what you guys do, for contributing to my giveaway, which is coming up here shortly. But where would you want to send people? I'll put all the links in the show notes, but where should they go to find either you, if you want to share your own personal stuff, or just the Tacticam stuff? You tell me. Yeah.
My stuff's pretty easy. I mean, you can just find me on Instagram. It's just Greg_Farrell, 2 G's at the end of Greg. I don't do a ton of stuff on there. It's one of those things where I do enough of it for work. I try and keep like separation of church and state a bit, but I am on there if you want to look me up. In terms of work stuff, there's a couple ways you can follow us. So Tacticam is the parent company. Tacticam has all of its own pages, so Instagram, Facebook, etc. And then we have brand-specific pages too. So Reveal is obviously everything hunting and trail camera related. Defend is our security camera component of it. So depending on maybe what you're interested in, or if you want to follow all three, but we're present on all platforms. Reveal, we're really ramping up on the content side of things. That's really important to us. So a lot of storytelling, serial pieces of content, really high quality stuff there. So that's always fun. Instagram, Facebook, YouTube, the whole deal. And then the other way to like really stay up to date on kind of what we're doing, what's coming down the pipe, what's new is like, if you're interested in that, just sign up for our email list, right? Like we do a pretty good job of keeping people informed there on what's new.
Awesome, man. Well, Greg, thank you very much for sharing your stories. Obviously, that was the really fun part, but also for sharing more about Tacticam, because I think that's all very, very interesting, and I hope people love getting those pictures like just preseason as much as I do, because it's so much fun, even if I can't find them when the season starts. But thanks again for coming on, man. I appreciate you, and we're more than welcome to come back anytime. Or if you have anyone else from Tacta that wants to jump on, let me know.
Yeah, thanks so much for having me. It was super fun.
Of course. Have a good one.
Hey, Mama. Thanks for making all my favorite recipes.
Hi, Ma. Thanks for your unfiltered advice.
Hi, Mom. Thanks for always being by the phone.
Hey, Mom. Happy Mother's Day.
When you ship UPS Air at the UPS Store, your items arrive on time or your money back. Guaranteed at no extra cost. Exclusively at the UPS Store U.S. retail locations. Visit the upsstore.com/airshipping for full details. Terms and conditions apply. Send your Mother's Day gifts at the UPS Store and we'll get your gratitude there on time.
Ryan Reynolds here from Mint Mobile. I don't know if you knew this, but anyone can get the same premium wireless for $15 a month plan that I've been enjoying. It's not just for celebrities. So do like I did and have one of your assistants switch you to Mint Mobile today. I'm told it's super easy to do at mintmobile.com/switch.
Upfront payment of $45 for 3-month plan, equivalent to $15 per month required. Intro rate first 3 months only, then full price plan options available. Taxes and fees extra. See full terms at mintmobile.com.